Lucius Malthoy is one of Harry Potter characters through the Harry Potter series. He is a Death Eater right in Voldemort's ranks, which I'll get into later. In the movies, you hardly get to know anything about his past compared to the books, so I'll be basing his origin story on the books, not the movies. In my opinion, Jason Isaac was the best character to be playing Lucius Malthoy in the Harry Potter series. Lucius Malthoy was born in 1954 to Abstract Malfoy and his wife. His family was one of the most richest families in the Harry Potter series, with millions and millions of gold that they've got from muggles. They lived in a very nice house, mansion, very wealthy. Lucius Malfoy's mom was always really easy on him, while his father was always really hard on him, always teaching him the importance of blood purity and the Scared 28. And the bad nature of many muggles. When Lucius Malfoy turned 11, he went to Diagon Alley with his parents. This is where he got his first wand, robes, and books. The moment he went to Hogwarts, before the sword and can even touch his head, he was sorted into Slytherin House with other friends, Coil and Grab, who were also in Slytherin. During Lucius' year, he also met Narcissa Malfoy, his wife. And during Lucius' 5th year, he was made a prefect. He also welcomed a boy named Severus Snape. When Lucius Malfoy graduated from Hogwarts, he started working in the ministry as a school board governor. This is the time of the First Wizarding War. This is when Voldemort first went to power with all the other Death Eaters, and Lucius Malfoy being second in charge of his command. They destroyed millions of people, killed millions of people, and destroyed bridges and muggles. At this point, it seemed like there was no point of stopping Lord Voldemort, and this very pleased Lucius and his dad. Voldemort trusted Lucius with his life, giving him up one of his Horcruxes, a diary, for him to keep safe. But sometime in the 1970s, Voldemort met his downfall at the hands of young Harry Potter. This was the fall of him, and many of Voldemort's Death Eaters were caught and sent to Azkaban. Unlike Lucius, he pretended that he was under the Imperius curse, which made him be free. Unlike so many of his other followers. The Imperius curse means that you are always under control, no matter what you do. This stopped Lucius Malfoy from going to Azkaban and having a great time for him to raise his son Draco Malfoy with Narcissa Malfoy. He was always really hard on him, and just like his father, always taught him the importance of blood purity. During Draco's second year, Lucius had taken him to Diagon Alley to get his school supplies. There, when he first met Harry Potter, insulted him and the Weasley family, mocking them how poor they were, and also quickly slipping in Voldemort's diary and Ginny Weasley's call. Sometime during this year, Lucius Malfoy had friended a curse of other board governor families to get rid of Dumbledore. Him knowing that if Dumbledore gone, there would be killings next of Muggles. This is because when Lucius slipped the diary in, he released the Basilisk. It would start the whole Chamber of Secrets thing all over again. Lucius was very pleased with himself, and also was able to get Hagrid in Azkaban, freeing half-breed, which is something that he did not like. When Lucius Malfoy heard that Dumbledore was back, he brought his house elf Dobby to see if it was true. After having an argument with Dumbledore, Harry Potter followed Lucius and Dobby out of the school, where Harry Potter accused Lucius of being the one who put the diary in Ginny Weasley's cauldron. This is where he tricked Lucius by freeing Dobby. He got possession of Lucius getting upset and Dobby thinking that Lucius had freed him. To the fury of Lucius, finding out that Harry Potter had freed his only house elf worker, to the disappointment of him. Lucius was really quick to raise his wand out of his fascinating wand stick and pointed at Harry Potter. So furious that he was ready there to kill Harry Potter right in there. This is where Dobby had saved Harry Potter from Lucius, making Lucius go flying back from the castle all the way to the door. During Draco's third year, he had heard that his Draco Malfoy, was attacked by Buckbeak. This is where he went to mystery, got Fudge involved for the execution, for Fudge to get an executioner to kill Buckbeak. He was very upset, though, to find out that Buckbeak had escaped. During Draco's fourth year, Lucius Malfoy was one who sat next to Fudge during the World Twilight Tournament. This same time, Lucius was also head of a group of Death Eaters that tortured the Muggle landowners at the Triwizard Cup. But they soon ran after Barty Crouch Jr. had cast a dark mark. Thinking that Voldemort was back, they scattered. During Voldemort's return, Lucius, Crabbe, and Goyle, with a bunch of many Death Eaters, had returned to the graveyard where Voldemort was. There, they greeted their master that had been gone for 13 years. Voldemort, though, was very upset with all of them. This is because none of them have came to seek him or try to find him during his downfall. But Lucius had convinced them that he would have if he had a sign. Just proving how weak Voldemort was then.
I have been obliged to present each day since your absence.
There, a huge fight broke out with Harry Potter versus Voldemort when Harry Potter had escaped to the fury of Voldemort. Fudge was so weak that he did not even know that Lucius Malfoy was one of the Death Eaters there. This allowed Voldemort and Lucius to get more ranks to Voldemort's army. Voldemort had given Lucius the task in charge of the mission to retrieve the prophecy. Lucius, with a bunch of other Death Eaters, such as Bellatrix, Rodolphus Lestrange, and Augustus Rookwood, went there where a huge fight broke out. With Lucius destroying the prophecy and him getting caught up with a lot of other Death Eaters. Then, with the fury of Lucius, him and Rookwood charged at Sirius and Harry Potter, where then Sirius quickly overpowered Lucius and Rookwood. Sirius Black, causing Lucius Malfoy to go flying back into the air, making him caught and getting sent to Azkaban, ruining the Malfoy name. Voldemort did not bother saving Lucius, though, because he had broken the prophecy that Voldemort had sent him in charge. Because Voldemort couldn't punish Lucius because being an Azkaban, he found a way to punish his whole family by saying Draco Malfoy to kill Dumbledore, which is something that even Voldemort and Lucius knew that Draco could not do. But little did Lucius know that Narcissa had made a deal with Severus Snape, doing the unbreakable vow, which had Snape kill Dumbledore, saving Draco's life. During this following school year, Voldemort had broken out all of the other Death Eaters, including Lucius, and had forced the Malfoy family to give their home to the Death Eaters as their HQ. This is where they mocked the Malfoy family, with Voldemort asking for Lucius's wand for another punishment to mock him. This is where Voldemort had broken Lucius's wand, one of the most rudest things you can do to a wizard. During that school year, they got many prisoners, such as Dean Thomas, Luna Lovegood, and Ollivander, in their basement. When Scabiar and a couple other snatchers brought Ron, Harry, and Hermione, they also locked them up there. Lucius watched Bellatrix torture Hermione Granger, and then a big fight broke out, with Harry Potter throwing Lucius back in the air, and in Bellatrix Lestrange holding Hermione Granger at knife point through the neck, making them drop their wands and surrender. And this is where Lucius was about to call Voldemort on the orders of Bellatrix, now second in charge, before their old house elf Dobby had came and saved them, freeing all of them. And again, Lucius Malfoy getting thrown back in the air in his own house to the Fury. This is where they escaped after Bellatrix Lestrange had threw the knife through the portal. Voldemort seriously punished them for this, for failing again. Then, this is where the final battle at Hogwarts began, with Lucius and all the other Death Eaters and Voldemort went to Hogwarts, where they found out Harry Potter was where the final battle would be taken. Here, during the battle, Lucius had begged Voldemort to stop the battle for his son that was in the middle of the battle wandless. Voldemort said it was not his fault that his son did not join him with the other Slytherins. Then Voldemort asked Lucius to go find Severus Snape. To Lucius Malfoy's delight, Voldemort had stopped the war, making all of his Death Eaters retreat, as long as Harry Potter went to the Forbidden Forest, where he would kill Harry Potter. There, Lucius saw Voldemort supposedly had killed Harry Potter in the Forbidden Forest. There, with all silence, and the only thing you can hear is Nagini moving her slivery body down. And then Voldemort had cast the words, Avada Kedavra. There, Voldemort had asked Narcissa Malfoy to check if Harry Potter was dead, just in case. There, when Narcissa Malfoy did this, she asked Harry Potter's supposed dead body if Draco was alive. And this here is where Harry Potter had slowly moved his head, saying yes, having Narcissa save Harry Potter in line to the Death Eaters, the giant spiders, including Voldemort and everybody in his ranks, including Lucius Malfoy. This is here when she said that he was dead, which Voldemort believing her, thinking that he had won. Then Lucius, with all of the other Death Eaters and monsters, had went to Hogwarts with Harry Potter's supposed dead body. Voldemort here had mocked everyone and had asked all of them to join them in saying Harry Potter was dead. Before Voldemort thought he would have won, of all the other Death Eaters and Lucius, out of nowhere, arrows came flying down from the mountains of the Hogwarts castle, killing a bunch of Death Eaters, which started the second part of the Battle of Hogwarts. It was the Centaurs that had done it. Lucius and Narcissa did not even bother to fight. They screamed for all the fighting going on, shouting out Draco's name. When they met up with Draco, they saw the defeat of Voldemort, when Harry Potter finally killed Voldemort once and for all, making everybody at Hogwarts win the battle and all the other Death Eaters retreat. Lucius Malfoy and his family sat there at the Great Hall, unsure of what to be there, but nobody was saying anything. They were celebrating their victory. Lucius Malfoy and Narcissa and Draco escaped going to Azkaban, though their last change of allegiance between the battles, and Lucius helping the Aurors find all the other Death Eaters that had retreated and escaped. Lucius Malfoy was somewhat of a bad guy, but we saw he was also did some good things many times. One, of betraying Voldemort, helping the Aurors find his Death Eaters, and running for the battle, risking his life to find his son. I hope you enjoyed this video, and like if you want more. See you next time.